these lemon meringue crumble style cookies are the it girl cookies of the summer. They're light, refreshing, easy to make, so delicious, and basically like having a crumble cookie from the comfort of your own home. So without further ado, today I'm going to show you how to make them. As you can see in front of me, we've got all of our ingredients for our cookies, starting off with caster sugar, plain flour, margarine, and you can use butter if you would prefer, white chocolate chips, bicarbonate of soda, vanilla extract, lemons, and meringues. So the first thing we're going to do is take a large mixing bowl. The first thing we're going to add into our bowl is our caster sugar. We're only using caster sugar today because for these crumble cookies, we want a really nice light color. Following the caster sugar, we're going to be adding in our margarine. We've got 115 grams of this today. And like I said, you can use butter, but for these cookies, I've developed a really good crumble cookie recipe with margarine, and I'm very happy with how I've created this. So I stick with margarine. Room temperature unsalted butter will also work. And finally, after that, we're going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We don't need too much for this, just a little bit, because we're going to be using mainly lemons for our flavoring for these cookies. We're going to take either a hand mixer or an electric stand mixer, using either the paddle attachment on the stand mixer or the little whisk attachments on a hand mixer. We're just going to combine these ingredients together until they're light and creamy. We don't need to go too far with this and overmix, so we'll just stop once we get them to that lovely creamy consistency. This is what it's going to be looking like. Next up into here, we're going to be cracking in 1 medium room temperature egg, and we're going to be adding in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and that's just going to give us that gorgeous lemony flavor, which isn't too sharp, but still gives us enough of that flavor. So if someone was to bite into this cookie blindfolded, they would know exactly what flavor it was. Once again, we're just going to use our mixer to mix this until fully combined. It's probably going to look quite curdled at this stage, but don't worry, that's completely normal. Adding in our dry ingredients will fix that. This is going to be smelling absolutely incredible at this stage. Like that subtle lemon flavor, it's just perfect for summer. We're going to be adding in our plain flour, and we've got 250 grams of this today. Once that's in the bowl, we're going to be adding half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and this is also called baking soda in some countries. And this is just going to help give those cookies that nice flat circular shape that we're looking for with a crumble cookie. We don't want them to be too thick and have too much height. So at this point, if you're using a hand whisk, switch over to a spatula. But if you're still using a stand mixer, you can keep using the paddle attachment on there. And what we're going to do is mix the ingredients either by hand or with our mixer until we form a gorgeous smooth dough. And it shouldn't be runny, it should just sort of come into one entity basically. Once we've got a lovely dough, we're going to be adding in white chocolate chips. And for these cookies, I've just got 100 grams of these today. I just think they really level up the cookie because with the meringue and the lemon curd, that white chocolate is going to really create a gorgeous flavor combination and just add to the really nice texture when we bite into one of these cookies. So we're going to add those in, fold them through until they're evenly distributed, and then our cookie dough is complete. We now have our delicious cookie dough. So what I'm going to do is just add the dough to the fridge for about 10 minutes. It doesn't need too long at all, just while we preheat our oven to 190 for a conventional oven or 170 for a fan oven. Once they've chilled, we're going to take them out, line 2 baking trays with parchment paper, and using a tablespoon, we're going to add 4 balls of cookie dough per tray, and then we're going to press the tops down so that they resemble discs, because we actually want to avoid a ball shape for these cookies, because as we know with our crumble cookies, we want a nice flat surface. So just pushing down the tops before they actually go in the oven, it's just going to help them along their way to create that shape that we're looking for. And then once the oven's preheated and ready for the cookies, we're going to bake them for about 10 to 12 minutes until they're flat and also a light golden brown color, particularly at the edges. Just be sure to remember that every oven runs at different temperatures. Some can run hotter than others and some can run cooler. So I would start checking on them from about 10 minutes just to see how they're looking. Also be sure to remember that cookies continue to cook when they come out of the oven. We don't want to overcook them because then we'll end up with a really dry, tough cookie. So 10 to 12 minutes really is the sweet spot for moist crumble style cookies. As soon as the cookies come out of the oven, if they're looking still a little bit too raised on the top, just grab a tablespoon and just gently tap the top of each cookie until you get that lovely flat surface that we're looking for. So we've got our lovely cookies here. They are exactly as I was hoping they would look. They've got the perfect color, they're super round, and they've got a nice flat surface for us to work with for the topping. As we're going to leave these to cool a little bit longer, we're going to move on to making our buttercream. We're making American buttercream for these cookies. I just do favor American buttercream. You can keep it at room temperature. It sets more. I just prefer it, and it's also a lot easier to make. For American buttercream, we've got icing sugar. We've got 125 grams of this today, and then we've got 110 grams of unsalted butter, and also our lemons for later. So what we're going to do first is add our butter into a large mixing bowl and then cream it using either our hand mixer or stand mixer until it's lightened in color and is nice and fluffy. You'll notice it goes from a sort of yellow to a really nice sort of off-white color, and that's how you know it's done. You can also use your spatula to scrape down the sides every now and then just so it gets that nice even color. And then once we've got it to that color, we're going to add half of our icing sugar and mix that in. Then once half the icing sugar's in there, we're going to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You can change this up however you'd like. If you'd like a stronger taste, add 2. If you'd like a more subtle buttercream, add 1. And then once that's in there, mix again for about 2 to 3 minutes till we get a really nice light and fluffy buttercream. It's going to be like whipped ice cream almost. That is how you know it's done. We're now going to be left with the most delicious whipped consistency for our buttercream. It's just gorgeous. It's now time for the fun part. We're going to start decorating our crumble cookies. The first thing we're going to add onto our crumble cookies using a spoon is a light layer of buttercream onto each one and just swirl that around so it's nice and flat. You want to just get a teaspoon and just create a little swirl in the center of each one as shown in the video. Just copy that exact style, because what we're going to do next is grab our lemon curd. Just start with like a quarter of the jar for now because we won't add too much lemon curd. I would always say with things like lemon curd, always add less because you can always add more but you can't take it back. And obviously lemon curd can be quite tart. We're going to add that into a piping bag, cut off a small tip of the piping bag, and then pipe on a little swirl of lemon curd onto each cookie. We're going to take our meringues, crush them into small pieces and sprinkle them on top of each cookie, followed by a little slice of lemon on each cookie to decorate, to make it look really pretty and summery. And then that's all the decorations complete. When I say these cookies are easy, I really do mean it. There's a lot of steps, but all the steps are really doable, which is great. So there you have it. That is how to make the most incredible lemon meringue crumble inspired cookies. These are absolutely incredible. They just smell so delicious. They're so light. Every bite is just perfect. We've got that crunchy cookie base with the gorgeous light and fluffy buttercream, the tangy lemon curd, and the amazing little pieces of meringue on top to just really give it that special something. I could not be more happy with how these have turned out today. They are just perfect for every summer occasion. You could take these to like a summer barbecue or a party. I would say on a hot day, I would keep them in the fridge just because of the buttercream. On that note, I hope you enjoyed coming along with me to learn how to make these today. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe for weekly baking content. Let me know in the comments if you have any baking recommendations that you would like me to try, and I'll see you next week for a new video.